Yo, what's going on, everybody? I hope you're doing well. Today, I wanted to talk about the number one mistake beginners make when learning to improvise. Let's do it. All right, we got this thing set up, I think. What's happening, everybody? I hope you're doing well. So I'm a big fan of Bob Reynolds' YouTube channel. And for those of you who don't know who Bob Reynolds is, he's a great saxophone player. He plays with Snarky Puppy and a variety of other great artists. And he has an awesome YouTube channel that I feel very inspired by. And he very oftentimes starts his YouTube videos in the car. And so I was like, oh yeah, I want to start a video of mine in the car, but I'm having an issue here trying to figure out where I'm going to put my camera and just the logistics of making this happen. So anyways, thanks Bob for the inspiration. And now I got to crack the code of what do I do with my camera. With all that being said, today I wanted to make a quick video about the many different hats that I wear as a musician. So, it's very often you might see me like playing a gig on Frenchman Street with my quartet, or you could see me playing with a wedding band on the weekend. You might also see me performing with Michael Bublé at Madison Square Garden or something like that. So in addition to performing, I do a lot of other stuff. I'm a teacher. Today, I'm heading to Tulane University to teach my saxophone students. After that, I'm heading to a different school to go teach beginner flute. And what else do I do? I'm also the founder and artistic director of a nonprofit based here in New Orleans called Second Line Arts Collective. And with that organization, I do a lot of the curriculum development. We do a lot of the fundraising, the social media stuff, all kinds of stuff. So the point I want to make to anyone who's watching my channel and is aspiring to make a living performing as a musician, you're going to have to wear a lot of different hats. There are a few people who just make their money and make their living purely performing. And while that's like something we should all be aspiring to, don't ever feel discouraged if you have another job, if you teach, if you're a waiter, if you have a day gig. There's many different ways to make the dream happen. And I just think it's important to make it happen whatever way that you need to make it happen. Even if you have a day job, that day job is helping facilitate your dream as a musician, right? You're working that job with a purpose to help you reach an end goal. So there's no shame in having a day job. Teaching has always been my way of supporting my musical habit. I love to teach. It's one of my deepest passions. But teaching is an important part of how I make it happen. And there are periods of my life where I just get to perform all the time, and I'm very grateful for that. But today, I'm in a season of my life where I'm teaching a lot. So just wanted to say, you're aspiring to be a musician, just be prepared to wear many different hats. And if that's the reality that you live in, there's no shame in that. Just want to let y'all know. I'm heading to Tulane University, and I'm going to bring y'all with me, and let's make it happen. Let's do it. Welcome to my practice room here at Tulane University. And this room is a straight up throwback to the 80s or so. I believe at some point this was a dormitory, and fast forward to 2024, it's now the music practice room. And I don't think they've made any renovations or any updates to these rooms, so it feels like a time capsule being in here. Anyways, I had a couple students today, and my first student and we were transposing a lick in 12 keys. And then we put that lick over the different chord changes of the blues, and also played it over the chord changes of After You've Gone. My second student and we were talking about pentatonic scales, and we were playing different pentatonic scales over John Coltrane's Equinox. And my last student, we were talking about the realities of being a musician. And at some point we segued into actually having a real lesson. And I wanted to focus on the importance of playing with good time and good rhythm. Even though I'm a woodwind player, I'm still responsible for playing with great time. And so a lot of the harmonic choices that we make may not be conveyed properly because we're not playing with a good time feel, or we're not playing with good rhythm. So I really wanted to emphasize the importance of playing with rhythmic authority, playing with intention behind each one of our rhythms, and just playing everything with a great time feel, because behind every pitch is a rhythm. And I wanted to share with y'all how to play with a little bit more authority in our rhythms, to play with a little bit more intention behind our rhythms, and ultimately play with great time and great rhythm. So let's check out the lesson, and I'll catch y'all in just a second. Let's do it. Today, I wanted to talk about the number one mistake beginners make when learning to improvise and share a tip to instantly improve your improvisation. First off, who is a beginner? A beginner is anyone who's new to the act of improvisation. You could be a fifth grader. You could be a college student who's studying classical music and is extremely proficient at your instrument, yet wants to learn how to improvise. You could be in your 40s, you could be in your 50s, right? So a beginner is simply anyone who's new to the act and the art of improvisation. And if you're a beginner, this information is for you. The number one mistake beginners make when learning how to improvise is prioritizing harmony over rhythm. I'm going to say that one more time because it's so important. The number one mistake beginners make is prioritizing harmony over rhythm. The most important part of learning how to improvise is learning how to play with intention behind each one of our rhythms. Let's do a quick little story time here. And once upon a time, I was in a masterclass with the great New Orleans drummer, Herlin Riley. And Mr. Riley asked the students in the ensemble, who is responsible for keeping time? And one person answered the drummer, the other person answered the bass player. And of course, both of those answers are correct, but the real answer is that everyone is responsible for keeping time in an ensemble, right? So just because I play a horn, I play clarinet, saxophone, trumpet, it doesn't mean that I'm not responsible for keeping good time and playing with good rhythm. Herlin said something that I'll never forget. And Herlin said that every instrument is a drum. I'll say that one more time. Every instrument is a drum. Every instrument is responsible for keeping time, and every instrument is responsible for playing with some sense of percussiveness, right? We're always playing with rhythm, and it's important to be very intentional about how we place our rhythm and how we play with a good time feel, and just, again, keeping good time, because behind the pitches is rhythm. One quick little last thing here. Herlin also asked, if you were to remove the pitches from your solo, would your solo still be interesting? Like if you were to just play the rhythms of your solo on a snare drum, are you still taking an interesting solo? Just something to think about. And I think it's kind of an unfortunate reality of YouTube teaching, an unfortunate reality of college and all these other academic programs that teach jazz music. And a lot of times we focus purely on the harmonic aspects of what we're supposed to play when we're learning how to improvise. And very often we can glance over the importance of rhythm. Yes, when you're soloing, harmony is really important. But what's even more important is playing with good rhythm. Like you could play the wrong note with a great time feel and great rhythm, and people will, for the most part, forgive that wrong note. But you can play all the right notes with horrible time and a really bad feel. And it doesn't matter if you're playing the right notes, it's just going to sound wrong. So even though harmony is very important, what's even more important is playing with good rhythm and a good time feel. How do we play with more intention behind our rhythms? And this is going to lead me back to Alvin Baptiste's jazz poem. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the jazz poem, please check out my video called How to Swing for Beginners, and I will definitely link it below. The jazz poem is simply a set of commonly used rhythms in the jazz idiom, and each one of these rhythms is said with a corresponding syllable. The jazz poem goes like this: 1, 2, dot, dongo, ta ta ta, abba dabba doo, ham bone, diddly diddly bop, bamboo la, a dot, a dongo, ta ta ta, abba dabba doo, ham bone, diddly diddly bop, bamboo la. That's the jazz poem. An exercise I like to do with my students is to pick a rhythm from the jazz poem and improvise over a blues using only that one rhythm. We have a variety of rhythms we can pick from. We can use a dot, dongon, ta-ta-ta, abba-dabba-doo, ham bone, diddly-diddly-bop, bamboo-la. So we can pick any one of those rhythms and use that rhythm as the basis of our improvisation. You may be asking, what pitches should I use to improvise? And I want to limit your harmonic choices to a minor pentatonic scale. So we're going to play a C blues with a simple 5/4 turnaround, and we are going to play a C minor pentatonic scale. C, E flat, F, G, B flat, and C. 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 8. And you can play any one of these pitches because for the most part, they're all going to sound good over a C blues. The thing I really want you to focus on is playing the rhythm you choose with intention. I'm going to improvise a couple choruses of a C blues using the rhythm dot. And as you can hear, when I say the word dot, there is a strong sense of percussion to that word. Dot, a dot. So you can hear there's a strong percussive nature to that syllable. And we want to imitate that percussion on our instrument. So in addition to imitating the syllable, we also want to place that quarter note rhythm with a lot of intention. And if you want to place that rhythm on beat 1, make sure you're placing it on beat 1. Dot, 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 dot. Right? There's no ambiguity as to where I'm placing it on the beat. So you can play 1 dot, 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 dot. You can play 2 dots, 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 dot. You can play 3 dots. But the important thing here is to play each quarter note with intention and to imitate the syllable dot. Don't worry too much about which note you're playing in the C minor pentatonic scale because each one of those notes is going to sound good over a C blues. Really focus on playing each rhythm with intention and then use your ear to guide you and create little melodies using the pentatonic scale. All right, so this is my chorus of dot. That was killing. How about that solo using the syllable dot? That was pretty killing, huh? Now I'm going to take a solo using the syllable dong-gong. And dong-gong is simply 2 eighth notes. And again, when I'm improvising, I'm going to imitate the syllables dong-gong on my instrument. A dong-gong, a dong-gong, a dong-gong. So I'm going to try and play dong-gong on my instrument. And as you could hear, dong-gong falls on beat 4. So I'm going to start my improvisation with a little pickup. And at some point, I may place the dong-gong on a different beat. As far as pitches go, don't feel like you always have to change notes. And use your ear as a guide to help you determine what notes you're going to play. Again, focus on the rhythm and playing each rhythm with intention. So let's check out my improvisation using dong-gong. that solo was killing. It was doggone killing. Hey. I hope you can hear how much intention I was placing behind my rhythms. Next, I'm going to take a course using a dot and a dongon. Let's do it. Dot dongon, there it is. So that was my solo on dot and dongon. Finally, I'm going to take a couple choruses of the blues using all of the rhythms from the jazz poem. I'm going to use the dot, dongon, ta ta ta, abba dabba doo, ham bone, diddly diddly bop, bamboo la. Let's do it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Y'all, how about that solo? Woo! Using all of the rhythms from the jazz poem. I hope y'all can hear how important playing with good time and great rhythm is. When we play our rhythms with intention, it sounds killing. And we can actually get a lot of mileage out of just playing a C minor pentatonic scale over a C blues, playing our rhythms with intention. And what's going to be really killing is when you can change the harmonic ideas and still play with the intention behind each one of your rhythms. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped you on your journey, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.